congratulations to the I want to say congratulations to the ones that actually had a chance to go to the Let's Go Weekend 12, the final one that we are going to have in the state of Atlanta, Georgia. And for the first time, I would like to say, if you have had the opportunity to visit Atlanta for the Let's Go Weekend, you were definitely specially blessed. We had a lot of great things happen. But let me do this. Let me introduce why we're here. Again, this is Johnny Greene, Seattle, Washington. This is the Freedom Rising team that's going to do a presentation, and we're going to have a conversation, and it's presented by yours truly, Gold Standard Partners, and in partnership with Gold Standard Bank. Now, some of that might be new to some of the ones that are here, but that's going to be okay because we're going to go and have a conversation. Now, first things first, there's going to be some rules. We're going to go over distractions. Please don't let anyone distract you. If you are here for the first time, second or third time, if you could do me a favor in the chat box, if you can put what city and state that you are dialing in from. We have a lot of people here, folks, and we want to let you know that this is a global business. We're here for, as I like to say, this is a personal business because we're here because someone had the decency, they had the love to do what? Show you a better way. So we're going to not take very much time introducing some of our partners. We are going to give credit where credit's due because this is the Global Freedom Rising team and the likes, and starting with Mr. Charles White. We actually have Mr. Stephn McNeal, and we also have the Queen herself, Miss Tannisha Galispie. So we're going to start the conversation out something like this. We have been presented with an opportunity to put our monies to work. Now, for some of us, that means probably something you've never heard of before, but we're going to have a conversation and introduce a few things. But because of compliance, there's a few rules that I have to go over. First things first, we don't talk about taxes. None of us here are tax professionals, and we don't talk about anything that has to do with advising. We are not advisors, nor are we going to advise you on your finances. What we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation about some of us that have had great success on how we put some of our monies to work. And some of us have been so blessed to be able to put the monies to work that some of us don't actually work for a job anymore. So with no further ado, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing this and presenting to others my business partner, Mr. Stephn McNeal. Mr. McNeal hails from the great state of Chicago, Illinois. He has obviously 6 kids. He's been married over 37 years. And I have been blessed to be able to retire because of the leadership and guidance of Mr. McNeal. And from Mr. McNeal went Mr. Dalcoe. And then we had, who was just laid to rest, Dr. Tyrone Best. So with that leadership, I was blessed to not just be retired, stay retired. And some of you will find out what these certificates can do for you and your family, because you might want to do the same thing. So with no further ado, Mr. McNeal actually ran and then owned and then sold 2 insurance companies, and he has done very well for himself. So if you could do me a favor and put in the chat some hand claps, some finger snaps, Mr. McNeal is going to yield us some education and some history. So with no further ado, sir, if Mr. McNeal could turn his camera on, let me know he is ready, and I will yield the mic and digress, and I will let my man do some moonwalking back into time. So with no further ado, Mr. McNeal, if you could moonwalk back into time and let us know how we got where we are. Blessings, thank you, and you're looking good, my brother. All is well. I'll yield the mic to you, sir. The floor
thank you.
is
And so do you, and welcome back to Seattle, brother.
Thank you.
So, wow. Hello, family and guests. I just want to say hello to all of you. Mr. Greene is absolutely on fire. Excited about not just Let's Go Weekend, what we just experienced this weekend with a great conference, convention, reunion. It's all those things in a whole bag of chips and more. It was really, truly a blessing. Mr. Greene is a consummate professional and a great leader in his own right. and he's on a mad dash to ambassador. I see it already. It's just a matter of days, and that'll happen. He's really doing phenomenal business, and the law of reciprocity really comes into play. The more you help others, the more things come back to you in sometimes a serendipitous way. So without further ado, I just want to also thank to be on the line with Miss Tannisha Galispie, who's crushing this business. And she's back there, is kind of the straw that stirs the drink in this platform and our call. And of course, the glue that binds is Mr. Charles White. We're very excited, and I want you all to get ready for him. I'm going to share my screen and kind of take you on a little journey like Mr. Greene had just mentioned, as we kind of talk about how we arrived here. And the reason why we do that is because 95% of the world is yet to adopt cryptocurrency. You think about that, less than 5% of the world is now in this space or blockchain projects, but less than 5% of the world's population is involved. And so you may see the same presentation 50 times in a row. It's because that next person is new. You want to make sure you see it like it's the first time you saw it, like our presentations that happen every day of the week. It's the same thing, same concept. And we're on a mad dash to inform and educate the best we can. And so I didn't see this space when I first got exposed to it. It made no sense to me. Back in 2009, when this whole idea of Bitcoin hit the marketplace and the blockchain, and a friend of mine gave me a call and said, Stephn, hey, have you heard about Bitcoin? And I said, no. And he went to try to explain it. It didn't make sense. I didn't buy anything. It was 47 cents a coin. 2011, another buddy of mine made the same phone call to me, said it a little differently this time, that the future of money, Stephn, is here. And have you heard of Bitcoin? I said, I have, but I haven't gotten any. And I didn't do anything. I said, I got a couple questions for you. Because he wanted me to send him $2,000 to get me some coins. And I said, so who's the founder, man? Chris. And he said, well, nobody has met him, but his name is Satoshi Nakamoto. I said, nobody's ever met him. And he said, well, this is the future of money. He said, yeah. I said, what about corporate headquarters? Is there corporate headquarters I can look up and get some background information? He said, Steph, there's no corporate headquarters, man. It's all online. I said, what about backed up by some precious metals or some country's army? He said, no, neither of the above. I said, Chris, he said, this is the future of money. No precious metals back in the coin, no military in this world. And nobody seen the founders, no headquarters. I said, dude, you're not beating me. So I didn't do it. It was 10 years later when my mentor, Dr. Best, gave me a call and said, Stephn, I know you've been watching this Bitcoin thing. I said, well, I really haven't. He said, it's here to stay. It's the future of money. Let's go. And that's exactly what I did. I got 10 toes down, got involved, and then I did my homework and started understanding the space. And then I had this incredible desire to not have people miss this, especially speaking to me, because I've sold so much stuff in my life. People see me coming. I didn't want them to miss the message because of the message of that being me. So I prayed and asked God to show me a way to present this. And here's one of the ways he showed me this whole idea of economies of time, where there's an economic system or economic order where different goods and services are introduced to the world or the marketplace for the first time, and it changes the way we do life. And so we've seen a lot of that stuff happen in our lifetime. So we just go straight to this whole Web 3.0. So some of you are old enough to remember we did not have the internet. And then all of a sudden we have this internet. We got to learn the language. We got to learn how to get online and do all these things and learn these keystrokes. And there were no computers until this thing happened on this whole internet space. Well, it changed everything in our world. And to the point where you see now, Yahoo, Google, MSN, Explorer, these are companies that didn't exist 25 years ago. I mean, that's Web 1.0 was read-only. It was kind of static. It was archaic, but it was still fresh and new. So it was exciting. As we look back on those days now, it's like, back in, kind of some Neanderthal time. It's back in the day, way back in the day, but it's relatively still new. Web 2.0, participate, centralize, Amazon Web Services, Uber, Messenger, IG, Facebook. All these companies, these brands are now iconic in our world. They employ thousands around the world. They never existed 30 years ago. And now they're the rave. Web 3.0, no intermediary. Things are changing, it's becoming decentralized. And some of us remember in North America, if you're old enough, or you read about it, where the Ma Bells once dominated the total telephone market in North America. They dominated it. It was a monopoly they had until some people and some legislators passed legislation and it called deregulation, where they broke up the Ma Bells and it gave people choices. Well, that same thing is now starting to happen, and we'll dive into that for Mr. Charles. We look at 20 years ago, we look at this illustration with this picture. It really capsulizes a lot of history. Where you look at the boom box, the camcorder, the cassette player, CDs, MP3 play, all these things right here that we all use to record our kids' games, bar mitzvahs, weddings, whatever it may be, you know, that we did. And same with the boombox, having fun, dancing, and at the parks. And then this guy came along and hit the scene, Mr. Steve Jobs. He brought the smart device to the world. It changed everything. Once you had an individual pieces, was now put in this small device you could put in your pocket. You can't put the boombox and the camcorder in your pocket, but you can do this, and we're doing it right now. And so I want you to have this mindset of understanding when technology makes a paradigm shift, it never asks our permission. So innovation does just that, it innovates. And so we look at our fiat currency now, the purchasing power of the dollar. Everybody's been concerned about it and talking about it. Well, we see back in 1980, what a $20 bill could get you in terms of groceries in that grocery cart. In 2000, 20 years later, that's $20 got you some groceries, but not as much as 20 years before. But now they're looking at 2023, this year here in late August, where $20 only gets you a few groceries. Now look and compare and contrast. Look at this Bitcoin, this currency now, the future of money. Understand this, in 2011, remember what I said? I had a chance to buy it at $1.12 per coin. Well, that's $1.12 of groceries in that basket and one Bitcoin. It equaled $1 in terms of value. 10 years later, 2021, that same one Bitcoin buys you a car. And now in 2023, 2030, they're predicting in 7 more years that one Bitcoin could buy you a house. It's changing right before our eyes, where we see this paradigm shift happening, and it's amazing. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, he made the statement in September 2017. He said that Bitcoin is a fraud and eventually blow up. He also said another place where it was not going to end well. Well, look at what they're doing now. You know, just like I had the opportunity to change my mind, so does everyone else. JP Morgan Chase is now rolling out their own blockchain payment system in Euro. So they changed their mind. Fidelity reportedly next to file for a Bitcoin ETF. That's huge in terms of what they're doing. BlackRock is one of the world's largest financial firms, having a value over $98 trillion. An ETF is very, very unique in terms of what it does in the marketplace. It's very similar to the mutual fund, but it's not. And it's very, very unique what's happening. Europe's biggest banks add support to Bitcoin, the Ethereum ETFs in Hong Kong. This thing is moving like a fast-moving train right before our eyes, where we see now banks, some of the top banks that are now investing in blockchain projects. We are a blockchain company. We are not a crypto company. It's very unique and a very significant distinction, where you see Morgan Stanley, what they're doing, and this is a 2-year-old slide, and what they're doing in terms of investing in the blockchain space. Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, Citigroup, same bank, another large bank that we all know, love, and trust. Wells Fargo, banks out of Singapore, UOB, the bank out of Seoul. The world is moving this way in terms of financial services in real time, family. It is happening right now. And we want to look at another play. I want you to really get this point home. When we log on to our computers, we all either upload or down, we want to make sure we got McAfee security on our computers. Why? It protects us from spyware and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Navigating online. This guy, Mr. McAfee, created this software to protect us in doing that. It was ingenious what he did, and he's a multi-billionaire because of that. Well, if you look at Goldman Sachs and look to the right, there's a company there named Certic, C-E-R-T-I-K. They are running the exact same play that McAfee did when the introduction of this whole thing on the internet started happening. He's doing the same, they're doing the same thing in the blockchain. You can look it up. It is amazing. So you get a chance to get a feel for what's happening globally and how you can position your own family, your own self in this space, your friends, your family, your colleagues, by just having them watch some videos or get on these live streams, live presentations that we have. Goldman Sachs executive predict 1 billion more new users flooding the market here in a short time. Now, talk about BlackRock. This is game changing. When one of the top 3 financial firms on the planet starts doing these sorts of things. What are these sorts of things? Applying for an ETF. In fact, they just got approved. They beat the SEC in a ruling that just went down over the last 2 weeks, where they're now going to introduce their own ETF. It's the same play. It's very unique. In fact, I'm going to stop my share for just a second, and I want to share with you so you can kind of get a feel for what is happening here with this, with Grayscale. If you can still see my screen, I'm going to pull it back up here real quick. I want you to see this. I want you to miss this point. Grayscale just won I'm reading this to you out of my, I apologize for reading to adults, but Grayscale just won a monumental legal victory against the SEC and for the entire crypto or blockchain space. It's a decisive ruling, and what it allows them to literally have what's likened to, and you guys can look this up, it's likened to a mutual fund. What is an ETF? It's an exchange traded fund, better known as ETFs. They're similar in many ways to mutual funds. They generally track the price of an asset like gold or a basket of assets. You see that with different companies, S&P 500 are packaged in this mutual fund. And so now I want you to really get this point on why the banks, are not sending notices to us about getting involved in this space. And, because this is happening in real time, family. It's happening in real time when we see these different companies that are moving in this space and industries in a big, big way. So I'm going to stop my share here because I really want to just really hammer in this point regarding what's happening in the space of blockchain and cryptocurrency, where you can see this in real time, what's happening. And there's a reason why they are not allowing us to understand or get access to this information, or at least trying to help you avoid it. And so I want to encourage everyone to get back absolutely with the person who invited you to this Zoom. This is happening in real time, and it's really, really big. Like I said, they want to hoard up and buy crypto at a lower price point so they can eventually sell it back to the marketplace on a premium or a higher price point so they can profit. If there's no more profit in fiat currency, ladies and family, it's moving toward this digital space. And now the players, the biggest players on the planet, are doing that exact thing. So why shouldn't we? I want to introduce this speaker now. This gentleman is flat out incredible. He comes from a financial background, over 41 years in the financial services industry, formerly VP of some large insurance companies in the Midwest, banks as well. He's held all the leadership positions in most of these banks and financial services in the financial services industry, and he can name some of those. But he's a really unique individual in his vernacular and how he presents is this whole space to the public, to us. He makes some of the complex terminologies very, very plain. And he's also created a gazillion different phrases that we use. I use them every day. And it's really a joy to work with this gentleman. He's out there in Dallas, Texas. He and his wife, Gail, they have a mad love for all things Jesus Christ. And he's got a passion for integrity and moving in that vein. And we've been really blessed to have access to a person like this every Tuesday night to help inform and educate and encourage us to take action. So without further ado, Mr. Charles White, the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. McNeal, thank you very much. I continue to be humbled by the fact that all these people have come to hear us. I don't understand, but I want to share. I have a passion for sharing information about the banking system and about the changes that are happening in the banking system that nobody's talking about. Well, not nobody, but nobody knows about. That's a big thing. So, you know, Mr. McNeal, come back on for a second and just discuss this.
Sure.
with me.
Sure.
What need to put my face in the picture. How about that? That's even better. What I have discovered is that, you know, the banks have broken the there's a covenant. There always was a covenant. I got my graduate banking diploma from the University of Virginia a long time ago, probably 96. And what I have discovered is that the banks have broken the covenant. We always had a covenant between the bank and the customer. You know, it was so strong, Mr. McNeal, that there's only two places that you take your money and leave it without question. You want to know what those two places are?
Yeah, I want to know. Tell me.
Church is number one.
Mm.
You know, you go make your tithe, you give it to the church. You don't even ask it. Some people do. What y'all doing with that money? Some people don't even. You just give it to the church. You know, you're honoring God by bringing the tithe into the storehouse, like the scripture says. The other place is the bank.
Mm.
And so God never broke his covenant. If there was a covenant broken with God, we did it. We broke the covenant. Okay. But we had a covenant with the bank, and the bank broke the covenant. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. The covenant was two things: that they would always give us a fair rate of return on our money. That's number one piece of the covenant. The second piece was that there'd be a safe store of value. Your money would be safe. Neither one of those are operational anymore.
Mm.
So before I get started, you know, they broke this deal. They broke the covenant. They don't care about us anymore. You know who's getting crushed in all of this stuff that's going on right now? Those of us in the middle. I can't even call us the middle class, Mr. McNeal, because the middle class is getting to the point where it doesn't exist. You're either very, very rich or very, very poor.
Mm.
And this system that we're going to deliver tonight, that we're going to talk about tonight, is, I'm not going to say it's the only way, but it's a way that a person who doesn't have much, or who's been working for 30 years and has a 401k and can't seem to retire, right? That person and everybody in between can profit from this system. Can make. Last week, Mr. McNeal, I got 3 calls, 3 of my favorite calls. And then Mr. Greene said it again tonight. You want to know what you said, Mr. Greene, that made so much sense to me tonight, that really goes into alignment with what I'm going to talk about? Do you want to know what that is?
Please share.
I have been able to retire.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
I got 2 calls like that last week. Mr. White, I want to let you know that I just turned in my retirement papers.
Wow.
I just turned in my retirement papers. And so that's big, especially for a 45-year-old. I'm not doing this anymore. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. I promised at 7:25. My promise is to get us out of here before 8 o'clock. Okay, it's huge. Kevin, you're right. It's huge. If you think about, you know, the founder of Wealth Builders Worldwide, Mr. McNeal, Dr. Tyrone Best, talked about freedom. I had a discussion with the teacher that turned in her retirement papers. And, you know, she was being abused by a student. The student held her arms and wouldn't let her go. A big, you know, she's a small woman, somebody that was bigger than her. She told her husband, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he started buying certificates in January and loading them. By August 1st, when she had the go, no go date, he showed her the certificate weekly payout versus what she was making. A, the weekly payout was greater than B, what she had been making. And then he says, do you want to go back? She said no. She's done. Done. I love it. I love it. And so my question to all of you on this call, who's next? Call me up. Tell me, Mr. White, I turned in my retirement papers. Mr. White, I turned in my retirement papers. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I want to hear that. Let me know. I want to hear that. Okay, let's talk about what we're talking about. Why do I get so fired up about this? You know, Dr. Best said, you know, freedom is, we want freedom. These people have gotten freedom. I want to add something to what Dr. Best said. It takes courage to get to freedom. If you don't have courage, the courage to make a change, you can't get there. It's not going to drop in your lap. You have to have the courage to make a change. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to dive into this presentation. Share sound. I'll do that. There we go. Share. Make it big. I'll do that too.
Every day, everywhere in the world, people wake up, get dressed, and head off to make a living, following the path they've chosen. But deep down inside, there's always a desire for a better way, a simpler way, a legitimate way to make more money, have more free time, and enjoy life rather than just work until we die. We have found a 100% legitimate, inexpensive, logical system with a valuable product and real-time commissions. Generate income with just a cell phone and an internet connection from anywhere at any time. Get started now, get paid now. Do you look for ways to make more money? Ask for info and we will send you more information. Let's talk.
Yes, let's talk. I want to tell you who's doing this presentation. You met Mr. McNeal, you met Mr. Greene, you know Miss Galispie, and here we are. This is Gail White. She's an executive, GSP executive. I am Charles White, a GSP Continental executive, looking at my partners go soaring off into the space. They're now all international executives, and I am in consolidation. So that's my personal confession. Gail is a certified training manager. She worked for one of Warren Buffett's companies. She's also a certified life coach and a money empowerment speaker and a blog writer. Last week, she introduced her second ebook into this platform, and we were able to get it out. It's on the Wealth Builder site. You can go there and get it. It's a money management empowerment tool. It's a research tool where you can find, we'll mention some terms here tonight. You'll be able to go there and research those terms and find out what they really mean. And I'm Charles. I'm a former registered, I like the word former. That means I ain't doing that no more. I'm a former registered securities principal. I was an executive in banking, insurance, and securities, and chartered retirement planning counselor. I spent, 2 years going through that course of study to learn that I could take a client's $1 million and give them 4%, which is $40,000 a year, and they would never run out of money. That is ludicrous. Okay, I am a certified financial education instructor now. That's a current designation, and I'm a proud member of Wealth Builders Worldwide and GS Partners. That's my seal there. You see that? Financial education instructor, the council. I am there. Do you recognize this man? It's Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, a spokesman for democracy, was an American founding father, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. I like showing this because I went to the University of Virginia, and he founded the University of Virginia. in 1776 and the third president of the United States from 1801 to 1809. Thomas said he had, I think it's, you know, I've been in the School of Kingdom. Some of you may know what that is. I'm enrolled in the School of Kingdom right now. And one of the things they teach us is about the prophetic. Thomas Jefferson was a prophet. Look at this. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation and then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. Remember that statement. 1803 is when he said that. And so I want to talk a little bit about the progression of money in the United States. You know, lots of things happened between 1803 and 1913, but here's a milestone. The Federal Reserve Act was passed by the 63rd Congress. This guy down below in that picture is Woodrow Wilson. He signed that law on December 23rd. The law created the Federal Reserve System, which, you know, is a private bank. And it is the central banking system of the United States, along with a new tax code heavily favoring the wealthy and big business. You do know our tax code hasn't changed much since then. We still have the base and the desire and the intent of our tax code is that you, the worker, would pay the taxes, that the wealthy would provide jobs and opportunities, and we would work and pay the taxes to pay for the government. And they wouldn't have to do that. They'd have their money to, you know, invest and do other things. And then we would have to work. Yeah, it's just I just call it another form of slavery personally, but that's another story. This guy, the gold standard, national, in fact, this guy was a worldwide hero. He's a hero of the world, of our world. He's a hero. Franklin Roosevelt. You know, in 1933, the United States operated on a gold standard. The US dollar was pegged to gold at $20 per ounce. And so at Let's Go Weekend this week, we did a parody of The Wizard of Oz, which was a parody of this situation here, where they called in all the gold at $20 an ounce. They took the people's gold. You had to. They made it illegal to own gold, which is a problem. So the second thing is they raised the price. Once they got it at $20 an ounce, they raised the price of gold to $35 an ounce and started printing money to make up the difference. That's a big deal. We lost ground that we've never been able to recover by giving up our gold. In 20, this guy is James Carter. Jimmy, they called him Jimmy. Jimmy was the 39th POTUS. POTUS means President of the United States. That's what POTUS means. In 1978, Congress approved the Revenue Act of 1978, which allowed for 401k plans. This act was implemented in the spirit of the government giving employees options for retirement outside of the standard pension plan. Now, you know what? The standard pension plan was working pretty dadgum fine for employees. It wasn't working so much for the companies. They wanted a way out. So they've been lobbying Congress to pass a law to get rid of the pension plan. And, you know, because the government works for big business and the big banks, not for us, they passed that law. And so this act was the beginning of end of pensions, is the beginning of the end for the pension plan. As U.S. corporations had been lobbying Congress, it was expensive to administer. Employers held all the investment risk. And corporate America wanted a way to reduce costs and get out from under the risk. They wanted to transfer the risk to us. They did that. And they did it under the guise of giving us options. Be careful when somebody's giving you something. They ain't give you nothing. Okay. So here's the difficulties with the employee-directed pension plans. The 401k, the 403b, the teacher retirement system, the postal retirement system, the railroad retirement system, the nonprofit organization worker retirement system. They're all tied to the stock market. They're subject to market fluctuations. We're still in one. Everybody thinks we're out of it and they're just raging. The stock market is doing great. But the Fed is not through fighting inflation. So believe this or not, you heard it here. The Fed will crater the economy to get inflation to 2%. And you know that I'm telling you, as long as it's around 3.5% or 4 or 4.5 or 5%, which it's come down to that from 10 at around the end of the year, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop raising rates until they get the economy in order. So they'll continue to raise rates. What will happen? What will happen with that? Well, you've already started seeing, I was talking to a realtor this morning, one of our affiliates, many of our affiliates are realtors. One of our affiliates here in this town is a realtor. And she said, our business has slowed down. We're still doing business, but we got 6.5% for someone today and 7.5% later in the afternoon. That means that rates are still going up. Now, what happens when that happens? Okay, rates are going up. People don't want to buy houses when the rates are that high because the payments go up and then the qualifications go up. You see, it's a mess. It's all connected together. If people aren't buying houses, the mortgage industry goes down. They lay off the loan officers and the processors. The people that build houses get laid off. The workers, the carpenters, the electricians. You see, all that's connected together. And then, as interest rates continue to rise, those who had bought a house and hadn't locked in a rate, you don't qualify for the house anymore. I'll get off my soapbox. So there's no income strategy with the 401k plan. They give you work and then you get a lump sum at the end, and you have to figure out how to ward off your family and friends because they know you got money and they're coming for it. They want your money and they're coming for it. They want you to fund their projects just like you're an investment banker or a bank. Now, the bank won't give them any money, and they expect you, because you're their friend, to give it to them. And the OJs had a song where they said, don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Okay. And so there's no income strategy. It's limited by your mindset and your money management acumen. That means how skilled you are at managing money. Now, if you ask 9 people out of 10, who taught you about managing money? Most people will say, I had to learn the hard way. 9 out of 10 people will say, and you wonder, why did your dad teach you about money? I want to tell you why. A man don't know what a man don't know. If you don't know, how can you teach what you don't know? All right, I'm going on. So the question is, have you seen any homeless people? Perhaps Mr. Jefferson was right. This is a picture from downtown Los Angeles. Every city in America has similar places. I was in Houston the other day, or a couple months ago, and I looked up under the bridge, and there were homeless under the overpass. They had climbed way up there. They had boxes up there. They figured the police wouldn't come up there and run them off, and they don't anymore. That's where they're living because they have no place else to go. All right. I know you're saying, why am I here? I'm telling you, the opportunity is bigger than you think. These are the questions you may be asking yourself. Is my money safe? My deposit? And so you notice I didn't say the word investment there. This is not an investment. If somebody invited you here tonight and they said, I got a great investment that you need to take a look at, they lied to you. We don't have an investment. That nomenclature or those terms belong to the investment community. We don't have an investment. We have a deposit. Is my money guaranteed? You may be asking, does the FDIC fully insure all my deposits? They don't even fully insure the ones that are in the banks. Who is this company? I'll answer that question. And I already, what will I gain by fully participating? What will I gain by fully participating? Here's what my prayer is for you, that you will gain freedom, that you will be able to retire, that you will have money and be able to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them without any restriction or hindrance from anyone. That's my prayer for you. What will I gain? That's what I'm praying that you'll gain. I want to talk about the Federal Reserve Bank Deposit Act of 2020. This is the act that changed everything. The first thing that happened with this act that was enacted in 2020 is that banks are no longer required to have reserves. That means that, they can make money they can print money out of thin air. If they want to make a loan, they just make the loan. They just make the loan. They don't have to have reserves to back it up. They do have to have deposits, though. That's why Chase got a little angry, because they lost $80 billion in deposits about 4 weeks ago. And there's a trend. They're losing money. People are pulling their money out and they're going to smaller banks, because smaller banks are paying more than 0.001. So that's the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened is that banks no longer have to keep vault cash. Now, what does that mean? That's a big deal, because I worked in a bank. I worked in many banks, and I managed groups of banks. The vault has cash in it. They use the cash to meet the customer's demands as they come in the door. If you go into the bank and they say, well, you ask for money, and they say, well, we'll have to get you, we don't have it, we'll have to get it for you. They won't say that. Well, you can't have it today. I can get it for you by tomorrow. They have to order that money from the Federal Reserve, because they don't have to keep it anymore. There's a comedian, his name is Bill Engvall. He says this all the time. There's your sign. Okay, there's your sign. What does that mean? That means that they have understood that having money sitting around in the vault earning nothing is not a good idea. That's the same thing as us leaving money in the bank earning nothing. It's not a good idea. Money is currency. It's supposed to circulate and make money. Money has to have a job. If it's laying in the vault waiting for you to come in and ask for it, that's not a good job for it. It's not a good job for it. So they figured out the same thing that we figured out, that you need to put your money to work. Money has to have a job. Okay. The third thing that came out of that is on the fourth line. It's this FedNow. FedNow, we have the blockchain. In our system, we have what's called the blockchain. Web 3.0. Mr. McNeal talked about that earlier. The Fed has just introduced a system similar to the blockchain. What it will allow, everybody will have a wallet, okay? And they're going to put coins in your wallet. They're going to convert our dollars to the central bank digital currency. They put the FedNow system in 4 weeks ago on a Thursday. So Thursday would be 5 weeks. Most people don't know anything about that. But what this will do is that checking accounts will move from where they are now housed in a bank. Savings accounts will move from where they are housed in a bank to a provider that'll give you a wallet. Everybody will get a wallet. And so if you have a smartphone, you'll be able to use the wallet and transfer your new digital dollars from one person to another. And there will be no settlement. It'll settle instantly. What is settlement? Today, if I make a deposit in the bank, Mr. McNeal sent me a check for $5,000, and I have to go to the bank and deposit it. That check has to settle, which means they send it up to the information up to the Federal Reserve. They debit the account of his bank, and then credit the account of my bank, and then my bank releases the funds to me. That takes 3 days. 3 days. This settlement will be instant. People are scared to death about this thing. Why? Okay, number one, it's just like the pension thing. They give you the front story, but they never give you the back story. The front story is it's convenient. It'll eliminate settlement. You'll be able to send money instantly. The back story is we can track everything you're doing. We know where your money is. We know where it's coming from. We now have a handle on how you receive your funds. We have a handle on it. And so they hired 90,000 IRS agents because tax revenues are down. You think about it. Use your thinker. That's what I talked about on Saturday at the conference. Use your thinker. 90,000 IRS agents. They're coming for you. Okay. The CBD coin, the people at MIT are working on this central bank digital currency. They're not quite ready yet. it could happen anytime. And then they'll start calling in the coins. And then the next thing they'll do is call in the small bills, the dollars and the $2 bills. And they'll call in the 5s and the 10s, and they'll call in the 20s, but it'll come very quickly. And people will not be ready, because there's 17% of the people in the United States don't even have a bank account. You know, that's 56 million people. They rely on cash. It could be tough. This could be a very digital, I mean, it's going to be digital, but it could also be very difficult. So why are we doing this? We're talking about centralized banking. We're going to make a comparison that's under government control and decentralized banking. So starting in the 1780s, then in 1913, Federal Reserve Act, we talked about that a minute ago, the law created the central banking system. All aspects of banking were regulated until the Carter administration. He did deregulation of banks, of the financial services industry. You know, we had the Glass-Steagall Act. So he deregulated the financial services industry, which meant that banks could sell securities, and security companies could sell banking products, and insurance companies could do both. That's what all that was about, the deregulation. But under the current bank interest rates, $2,000 deposit will get you $2,000 at 0.001% to 0.5% APY. That ain't getting you much. That ain't getting you much. So now we have decentralized banking. So that's House Bill 14067. We get metaverse certificates, and a 2,000 USDT deposit will get you a weekly payback of 5% to 22% per week. This WPR is compared to the APY. APY means annual percentage yield. WPR means weekly payback reward. So started in 2008, DeFi still looking into regulation. When regulation happens, a lot of money is going to move over into the system. That's why those big banks that Mr. McNeal was talking about are pouring money over here to get prepared to have some place for people to come so they can charge you over here in this system. I say, nay, I don't want any part of that. I'm getting mine now. I'm a front runner, first mover. Okay, Treasury Secretary Yellen says she wouldn't be surprised to see more bank consolidation. Well, what does that mean? That's bankerese for bank gonna fail. Mo bank gonna fail. That's bankerese for that, bank consolidation. So be on the lookout for that. All right, so here we are. We're GS Partners. Welcome to our community.
Excited for the future. Yes.
He's going to change your life. We are one. Let's go.
GSB, your 10-year anniversary. We ready?
We have the card in our hand.
I'm planning to develop way many more things in the Lydian world with my team.
Thank you all for being here.
The founder, the chairman of the board, Joseph!
You are the first, and our company will be the first. I'm pretty sure that many more institutions will use our technology.
You love it? I love you too. Thank you very much. Let's celebrate 10 years. Thank you.
Okay, so let's discuss who this 10-year-old company is. It all began in 2013. I want to give you kind of an overview of the Gold Standard Bank story, and I'm not going to take long because I want to get to the certificates pretty quickly. It all began in 2013 when a group of visionaries, so the first thing you notice is that they're visionaries, set out to disrupt, and they're disruptors, okay? Visionaries and disruptors, precious metals market. So what does that mean? Let me give you an example of a disruptor, Uber. Uber is the largest transportation company in the world, and they don't even own a car. Amazon. They've started opening some Amazon stores, but before just recently, they didn't even have a store, and they were the largest retailer in the world. Walmart shut down downtown America because they found a better way to deliver goods faster, cheaper, stay open longer. That's what we wanted. Faster, cheaper, and open longer. Convenience. So it shut down downtown America. There's many more Airbnb, a disruptor. You see, there's many more disruptors. So by 2014, GSB had invested significant funds to develop an ecosystem that would connect big players in the gold market. 2015, the group then implemented blockchain technology in connecting dealers, refineries, mining enterprises, and institutional buyers that in a way that had never been done before, disrupting, okay? Preparations began in 2017 to enable access to retail clients. 2019, GSB gave the executive order to establish a regulated trust and management company in Sweden. That's a big deal. 2020, that's when we came into existence. GSB developed new marketing platform, which is the basis for what we do, with modules based on blockchain technology, where each partner receives real-time rewards. That's what we have now. 2021, the platform included non-fungible tokens and a gaming engine designed to give gamers, players, and developers the ultimate opportunity to build, own, and monetize. Don't you like that word? Monetize. I like that word, Mr. McNeal. Monetize. That means put money in your pocket. Gaming experiences and universes. 2022. That's when it really got hot over here. Can you see the development that's happening here? They're spending millions and millions of dollars to develop an ecosystem. In 2022, GSB introduced world-leading brokerage development and interaction through several world-leading brokers in regulated and non-regulated brokerage. Non-regulated brokerage is called meta brokers. Okay, that's big. And then 2023, here we are now, GSB launched Swiss Valorum Bank, and they're rolling everything under Swiss Valorum Bank, and we're operating in 170 countries around the world. That's one of the reasons we can't give tax advice, because there's too many venues. We can't keep up with it all. So you have to figure out what taxes are in your own venue. Okay, let's do a disclaimer. This presentation is for the exclusive purpose of educating the community, members and users of products, services, and potential rewards program found on the gspartners.global platform powered by Swiss Valorum Bank. Every effort has been made to accurately take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot so you can go back and read it at your leisure. But the big things that it's saying is the system doesn't take fiat currency. So you can't just go in here in the system and buy something with cash. You can't do it. You have to convert to cryptocurrency. The second thing it's saying is we're not financial advisors and we don't give financial advice. The third thing it's saying is we're not tax advisors. We don't give tax advice. And the fourth thing it's saying is that we're not legal advisors and we don't give legal advice. Take a screenshot, 1001, 1002, 1003, and then go back and read the details, okay? All right, so we have GS Partners works all over the world with exclusive tech partners. Compliance is at the heart of our business. We operate in a highly regulated environment. We differentiate ourselves through good conduct, and we are well positioned to continue to thrive in an ever-evolving regulatory environment. Our partners currently operate in more than 150 countries worldwide in a regulated environment. Okay, now let's do a market overview. GSPartners.global is a marketing hub connecting communities to multiple sectors and industry opportunities. The AI technology sector is a $1 trillion sector, worth $1 trillion. The Forex market, with a volume, average daily trading volume of 5.3 trillion, offers the potential for high returns through leveraging currency fluctuations. Real estate, a $382 billion market. Crypto market, a $1 trillion market. Renewable energy, $928 billion market. Nutraceuticals, $382 billion market, and online gaming, $138 billion market. We're playing in a big space, okay? These are the companies that we deal with. Swiss Valorum Bank, Vortex, GSBD Swiss, Swiss Value, Swiss Benet, Skyground, WeroPay, and CEX24. And now what you've been waiting for, you came here. Somebody invited you here because they really cared about you, because they thought, gee, my friend can profit from this. And I want my friends to profit from this, just like I'm doing. Okay, so these are the elemental certificate series. There are 9 different series, 9 different certificates, and they're the golden key for this whole system. The certificates are. This is an example of one of the certificates, the $1,000 price point. But I'm going to, instead of showing you this, I'm going to stop here. In order to get into the system, you have to register an account. Somebody invited you here to GS Partners. Somebody invited you here, and you need to get back to the person that invited you here and register your GS Partners account. Now, it takes about 2 minutes to do that. And what you receive is a blockchain academy, an NFT, special member pricing, special member promotions, a referral link, participation in the rewards plan. And then you'll be able to start promoting if you want, or you can just take advantage of the member only specials. Get back with the person that invited you. Now I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to go in and pick up the certificates. I'm going to go in and pick up the certificates, and I'm going to tear it down and share with you the certificates. All right. See if I can make that bigger. I can. And then I'm going to drop out of this. I'm going to drop out of, we have a meeting. Look at that. There's a corporate event tomorrow, a meeting. It's at 10 Eastern on this Zoom address. This is where the company explains what we got going on. gspartnerslive.com. Take a screenshot of that. gspartnerslive.com. Ms. Galispie, will you post that in the chat so people can take a look and copy that? gspartnerslive.com. It's a Zoom presentation. Or if you have Zoom, that meeting address right there. 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, 7 a.m. Pacific. Okay, so I'm going to X out of this now, and this is my account, and I'm going to show you these elemental certificates. These are the elementals. This fast starts, this one has a stripe on it. It's fast start. It's only available in your first 30 days. This one is $100, 100 USDT. We don't do it in dollars. It's 100 USDT. And so you have the Terra, the light, the water, the light at 250 USDT, the water at 1,000 USDT, the wind at 2,500 USDT, the nature at 5,000 USDT, the fire at 10,000 USDT, the heart at 25,000 USDT, and the space at 50,000 USDT, and the prana at 100,000 USDT. The certificates have 2 sides. Okay, they have to be bought. You got to purchase them. So this is the nature. Okay, the nature, the price, you see the price 5,000 USDT. that gets you nowhere. You buy it, but then you've got to load it. The load, the price is an income engine. The load is a growth engine. Okay. So on the load side, the main load is 7,500 USDT, and it generates a bonus of 26,250 USDT in 24 months. It's a 24-month contract. Now, it also triggers this 1.5% per month for 24 months. Now, that doesn't sound like much when you're looking at these big numbers, but 1.5% per month is 18% per year. That's a good number, 18% per year. I haven't been able to find a yield like that at anywhere. So it's a payback, monthly payback program on the load. The load is 7,500 USDT. So it would be 1.5% times that amount to get your monthly reward. Now, that is withdrawable. Every time it hits, you can withdraw it, or you can compound it back into the load and continue to earn 1.5% on it. The second thing it triggers is a weekly payback. This weekly payback is 5% per week for 52 weeks. Now, you might notice that that's a big number. 5% per week for 52 weeks. That means that over the course of the, on this certificate, you're going to get 260%. You're going to get 260% of what you started with. Now, this 5%, you can take it. It comes every week after 7 days. After 7 days, it starts. You make a deposit on Monday. The following Monday, you get 5% on your account in your box, and you can withdraw that or you can compound it. If you compound it, you add it to this 1.5% for 24 months, and you just make that grow faster. Now, you see this big number down here, promotional load. That is an option. It's just optional, but it's a big option. Okay. The promotional load bonus is 100% eligible if the user attends the Come to Cape Town event. So in order to get this full 127,500 USDT paid out in 24 months, you have to load the 15,000, and then you have to attend the Come to Cape Town event. If you don't attend the Come to Cape Town event, it's only 50% eligible if the user does not attend. Okay. So whatever half of that is, that's what you get. Okay. I want to tell you something. Charles is going to Cape Town. So if you come, you'll see me there. All right. I'm going to go get the money. I'm sorry. I got to go get that money. That's a lot of money for just in 24 months. Are you kidding me? All right. Let's look at the second block. So each one of these is a block folio. The first one is called FinTech, financial technology. The second one is called renewables. Take a look at that bonus. The bonus on FinTech, 26,250. The bonus on renewables, 30,000 USDT. And the load, 7,500, and releases a main bonus of 30,000. The promotional load is double that amount, and that's the promotional bonus. The monthly payback is the same. The weekly payback, however, is 4% for 52 weeks on the same 5,000 USDT, the same 5,000, because you don't have to buy it again. You just have to load it again. You just have to load it. So now when you load the first one and the second one, instead of getting 5%, you're getting 9%. You can stack an additional 3.5% into this equation off the same 5,000 USDT, get 3.5% more, add a 22,500 USDT bonus in 36 months, and then add an additional, if you do both of them, the load and the promotional load, add both of these together. You can do a fourth block at $15,000 USDT bonus, 7,500 is the main load, 15,000 promotional load. And so those remain the same. And all those can be activated as you go to Cape Town in November. That's last two, supplements and gaming, work a bit differently. Supplements gives you a bonus in the supplement store. You get the bonus in supplements. Gaming gets you gaming credits in the gaming system. Okay, the bonus and the load are released at the end of the blockfolio period. This is a smart contract. All right, so that's how it works. That's why everybody is stupid excited. That's why your friend couldn't wait to get you here so that you could understand how this works. And now it is 8:07. I'm 7 minutes over. Mr. Greene is gone. He said he had to go. Thanks, Mr. Greene. I appreciate you. I'm going to stop sharing.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. We don't.
I
leave.
thought you were leaving, man.
No, we don't believe in leaving till the job is well done. We're not leaving. We're not
Okay.
leaving.
So Miss Galispie and I, are you available, Miss Galispie? I'm already getting questions here.
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, Mr. Greene is leaving. I am going to answer some questions, but let me just put a caveat with that, Mr. McNeal. If you are new on this platform, someone you invited you here and you have a question, I will answer your question. If you are not new, if you are already a partner and you go to your sponsor, the person that sponsored you, and get your questions answered. Is that fair? This meeting is for people who are new, who don't know. We want to answer those questions. So Ms. Galispie, if you'll take the con, let's answer 3 questions. First 3 that have their hands up, I'll answer them if you meet my conditions. If not, I'm sorry. You have to get back with the person that sponsored you and get your questions answered. Okay? All right.
The first person up is CEO Aaron Miller. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, just to be very transparent, I am already in the program, but I am sitting here with a brand new person who wanted their question answered. And at this time, I don't have all the answers, so I wanted to kind of bring that question to the platform, if I may. Is that okay?
If it's a brand new person that you're speaking for, why don't you let them speak, and I'll answer the question.
Okay. She's a bit shy, but go ahead, Tamika. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Tamika. I just wanted to ask a question as far as insurance on the money that's put into this.
Okay, Tamika, I think there's a lot of noise in the background, but I think you said, is there any insurance on the money? Is that what you said?
Yes, I'm concerned about that.
I'll bet you are. Lots of people want to know if their money is safe. There is no insurance on this money. It's like if you go in the stock market, there's no insurance. If you go to an insurance company, there's no insurance. The bank has insurance, but the government's broke. I just want you to consider those things. Now, let me tell you what we do have. We have a smart contract. Okay. This system is a smart contract. What does that mean? You need to look up smart contract, right? So the smart contract works like this. Let's say that you're party A, and GS Partners is party B. Gold Standard Bank is party B. You bring your money to Gold Standard Bank and you deposit into one of the certificates. Gold Standard Bank, when you make your deposit and your load, they have to place everything in the smart contract, which is on the blockchain, that they're going to pay you out in the next 24 months. All of the weekly payments, all the monthly payments, and the bonus at the end is all loaded into the smart contract. And all it can do is pay out. The way they're designed, the way they're constructed on the blockchain, is all they can do is pay out. They have no choice. The company can't cancel it. You can't cancel it. It's immutable. You can't get your money out. until you can get your weekly, your monthly, because it's paying out on a regular schedule, but you can't get your money, your crypto capital back until the end of the contract. They don't get anything out ever. All they get is to pay out. Okay. So that's the security we have. I think that's an incredible amount of security. We don't have to wait for profit to be made. We're actually buying profit on deals that have already been done.
Can I speak out of term? And please forgive me.
Please go ahead.
I see one of the founding members here, Mr. Mike Dalcoe. And maybe he's actually the one to speak to, just like you did, speak to the credibility of what she's asking for. She's asking for belief. And I know a lot of people are here for the first time. A lot of us are here because we were a non-believer. And I personally had a conversation with Mr. Dalcoe about belief. If he could share a little bit about why this company is the best company that I personally know of, I would have never taken a career path and retire that career path, making a multiple six figures to do this full time and share with the community, unless I was, listen, sure of the belief of the system and what it had to offer. Mr. Dalcoe.
He's muted, Mr. Greene. Miss Galispie, you're gonna have to find him and unmute him.
Please, if you could just give us and to properly introduce Mr. Dalcoe, Mr. 3103.
You have to make him co-host, Miss Galispie, because he can't unmute himself. Okay, there we go.
There we go. I just wanted to make sure I properly introduce. He's a Crown Ambassador. He's a multiple six-figure income per month. He's responsible for actually all of us being here. And he is the hardest working man in Atlanta, Georgia. So with no further ado, Mr. Crown Ambassador, Mr. Mike Goel Dalcoe, you now have the mic, sir.
Actually multitasking tonight. You can see I have my earpiece in my ear. I'm speaking with an advisor right now, and I'll tell you about what that's about in a minute, Mr. White. Credibility of the company. This is blockchain, and Mr. White already pretty much summed it up, but there's so much information that we put out, it's easy to miss something. So I'm just going to reiterate what he said. He gave you the whole timeline. We have a blockchain. We own our own blockchain. The reason why this company exists is because I refused to get into a company that didn't have a blockchain. I wanted to be in blockchain technology, and I wanted to be in cryptocurrency space because I knew how fast this could grow your wealth. So I definitely wanted to be in this blockchain space. It has proven itself time and time again to be the most salient way to build your wealth. You don't need necessarily the traditional financial institution means to grow wealth, because it's been proven to all of us, it doesn't grow it. It'll hold it. It'll safely allow you to lose money through inflation, but it won't grow it. When I'm literally on the phone right now with a good friend of mine to move from because I've got some more cash than I want to hold in a bank, to move it to a more sustainable long-term product. The blockchain secures your wealth. The only thing that can create a chink in your armor is if you're careless with your passwords, your usernames, your 2FAs, your email addresses and passwords, and clicking on phishing links. If you pay attention to your assets and you mind your money, your crypto capital, there's no medium, no environment in the whole world that can hold a half a candlestick to blockchain technology. It's not something we're thinking is going to happen. The reason, the clue and the hint that it's happening is the governments are giving us a fit while simultaneously developing the technology we have. Can I say it again?
Say
that
it.
part.
That
part.
They're giving us a fit over crypto while simultaneously developing the products that we have. We are where the government is going. And let me say one last thing. To those of you that take a long time to make decisions, let me hit you with this. Several things. Money likes speed. You're never going to build massive wealth him and hawing over financial decisions. I'm not saying make wild decisions. I'm saying do your due diligence, but shorten the time on that due diligence. Don't make your due diligence 3 weeks. That's ridiculous. It doesn't take that long in this day and age to determine how you want to move. Do your due diligence within some hours and make a decision. Even if your decision is a small move into the space, make a decision so you can quickly shorten your learning curve and see how this works. If you are having heart palpitations over $250 to test the system for 7 days, we can't even help you. You have a financial catastrophe waiting to happen. I say to people, if you can't drive down the street, throw $10,000 out the window at high speed and not lose your mind, you're in big financial trouble. Now, that would be ignorant to do that, but I'm trying to make the analogy make sense to you. You should be able to lose $10,000 today and not lose your mind. And if that's not your testimony, you need to move with some haste, because all the due diligence, all the care, and all the take your time and make careful steps that you've been doing up to this point in your life, it didn't work. Go ask your bank account. Now, let me do this last thing. Type in the chat room how old you are. Type it in. We're a family. Type in how old you are. Real quick, let's do this exercise. 56, 52, 65. Come on. 63, 65, 31, 65, 70, 48, 60, 77, 39, 36, 72, 72, 60, 27, 42, 48. We got a wide range of people on here. But no matter how old or young you are, here's the second question. Does it feel like it took you 59 years to get here? Does it feel like it took you 60 years, Heavenly Nails? Does it feel like, Kathy Jewel, it took you 60 years to get to tonight? Stephn, did it feel like it took you 60 years to get here? We were down there playing ping pong the other night, 60-year-old men playing ping pong. Did it feel like 60 years? If I said to you, I'll pay you your $100 I owe you back in 60 years, you'd punch me in the face. But if I tell you, because you think that's a long time, it's a long time looking forward. But when you look back, 60 was a blur. Who am I talking to?
Me.
Exactly. It was a blur. So here's the point. Here's the illusion. Our lives are expiring. It's expiring. I'm telling you, I'm on the phone right now with a friend of mine. We getting ready. I got to get settled. I got to fix this. I got to do some extra things. I need some more tools in my tool belt. GS Partners is a springboard, but it ain't the end of the road. You got to take this opportunity right now and you got to kill it. You can't play with this. This is not like we got 40 years to do this. You don't know how long you're going to last. Forget how long the company's going to be here. You don't know how long you're going to be here. You might not get off this webinar. You got to get serious about your life. Stop.
Nothing's promised.
Diddling around and dithering around. You know, you got time. You don't have nothing. You got right now. You better do your due diligence before I stop talking and make a decision. And when the decision is this small with this little risk, by all means, try. Let's go. I didn't mean to yell at adults tonight. I'm just in this really weird place. My wife, my daughters, and my mom are on a girls' trip. I'm feeling a little bit alone, so that's got me melancholy. But then I'm also numbering my days. I'm numbering my days, folks.
Mr. Dalcoe, I'm feeling you. But you know what? All those things you just said, we have to consider the wrecked state that our government is in, our money. So that's, we talk about, oh, my money. Our money is worth about 3 cents. And so it's worth 3 cents based on from 1971.
Absolutely.
We've lost 97 cents waiting around for them to do something for us. They're not doing anything for us. We have to take it and do it ourselves. That's what we're doing here.
Charles, listen, Mr. White, listen. The last opportunity I was in, while people were whining and wondering whether it was going to last and is it real, is it legit, that company proved its legitimacy, ran to momentum, hit its pinnacle, and collapsed under its own weight. And people were taking it so slow. And there were 2 schools of thought. One set of people said, I knew it wasn't going to work. That's why I didn't give it my all. I knew it. And people like me said, I don't know what this is going to do, but this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to run like my hair's on fire. And I made $1 million in 1 year. What school are you in? Are you going to just pity pat this? You're watching people make $600,000 a month.
What school are you in? You're gonna keep, well, you know, I want to do it, but you know, I've been through so much. Will you please grow up and realize this is a real world out here? Nobody cares about you. My dad said, you know, you are an adult when you realize no one is coming to your rescue. I can look back, left, right, front. There's nobody to help me. You better go get this thing. We have hitched our wagon to a billionaire's mindset. What are you prepared to do with this opportunity? Back to you, Mr. White, Mr. McNeal.
And Mr. Dalcoe, I love everybody on this platform. We want you to participate. However, if you don't participate, it's your personal decision. It's not for everybody. It's not. You have to decide what you're going to do. Like Mr. D said, you got to decide. Okay. It's not for everybody. Go. You want to do some research? Ms. Galispie, do you still have that research tool that we released last week?
I do.
Would you post that in so you can help that young lady do her research? Because people say, I got to do my research and then don't know where to start.
So Mr. White, it's a PDF. She's going to have to join Wealth Builders Worldwide's Facebook group, but I'll put the link in there. Anybody who wants to see that, join the group, answer the questions, and I'll approve you and you'll be able to see it.
Excellent. Thank you. Because it's a pretty good tool. I mean, all these terms we've been using tonight, they define them there. She defines them there very, very well. It's a good place to start your research project. Anybody else have a question? Mr. Dalcoe, thank you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Anybody else have a question?
I think after that conversation, I think what we should do is probably yield the mic and just let everyone get back in contact with the person who invited them.
Exactly.
And let's get to work because it's the end of the month. And we have a lot of people, we have a lot of lives to save.
We got a lot of lives to save. And
absolutely. Absolutely. That was the close.
Let's
go.
Let's
go. All right. It's
Mr.
on you,
Greene,
Mr. White.
You got it, babe. One song and we're out the door.